There's multiple movies about sex bots coming out this year and like last year. This is just gonna be a thing now.
Hello, I'm Ryan Donato.
Hello, welcome back to another Hard Review. I am here, of course, to talk about Companion. This is a science fiction, horror, comedy, romance type beat. We have Sophie Thatcher and Jack Quaid. They're a couple that go to this friend's house in the middle of nowhere for some kind of friend getaway party type thing. Chaos ensues, and I don't really know what's a spoiler for this one because I knew a certain amount going into it. For example, my girlfriend went into it knowing nothing. She probably enjoyed it a little bit more. I didn't have surprises until like the 30-45 minute mark. For her, everything was a surprise. So, like the general concept of the movie is a twist, and if you could be spared of that twist, that's great. So if you're one of those people, go check this movie out. I'm giving it a 4 out of 5. I think it's really good. It's less scary than it is more funny. I think that the relationship aspects are really interesting in the movie, and then the science fiction elements, are a lot of food for thought there. So check this one out, 4 out of 5. Yeah, now spoilers from here on out. So Sophie Thatcher is a robot. She's like a fuck bot. She's a sex bot. She is a robot. There's not a human being. There's no soul in there. But she doesn't know this, and Jack Quaid rented her out. He has sex with her, and there's fabricated memories of when they met, like this meet cute. He jailbreaks his robot to go murder a friend of theirs so that they could steal all of his money and start over. One of the first things I want to point out about this movie is that's a really stupid plan. That's a phenomenally stupid plan. That really let a lot of weight off my shoulders because I was like, oh, so the main characters are stupid. Okay, good. Because then I'm like, now I don't have to worry about semantics, like why would they do that? Why would they do this? It's stupid. Why would they? Because they're stupid. They clearly established that these characters are stupid. Obviously Empathix, the company that makes the robots and shit, they're not going to be like, oh, yep, they poured water on the robot and beep, 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 and killed someone. How crazy. Obviously, if this was a thing that was legal in the future, then they would have laws and safeguards for these things, and then they wouldn't just believe BS like that. Also, if these things were getting jailbroken, this got to be early in the process because people are probably doing stuff like this all the time. I mean, clearly not, though, because you couldn't do this. You know what I mean? You would get caught right away, which is what happens in the movie. These characters get caught very quickly. I knew that she was a robot going into it, and that's kind of clear. I mean, if you look at the poster, she's got the white eyes. In the trailer, it literally opens, and I don't like this, it opens with a scene from the climax of the movie where they're at the dinner table together, and he puts her hand out, and then the candle underneath her hand, and then it burns her hand. And to a human, that would be miserable. So, why is that happening? Because she's a robot. So I really wish that the marketing didn't give as much away as it did, so I thought that was kind of a bummer. But outside of that, I didn't know that they had a scheme to murder their friend and steal his money. I didn't know that the other guy, his significant other, was a robot. That was also an interesting twist. And it just felt like we were still able to surprise us even though we knew a lot of surprises going into it. So that was really fun. I actually really liked the other couple, the gay couple, a lot. I was really upset when the human being of the couple, when he died. I was like, but he was such a fun, interesting character. He had so much personality, and I really wish we got to spend more time with him and develop more of this relationship between him and his sex bot. I thought that was great. One of my favorite things about this movie, actually my favorite thing by far, is the meet cute situation between the gay man and the robot, because they're wearing a dinosaur costume and he steps on his foot, and then they do this little dance to do my little boo thing and don't give a fuck what you do say, and it's so cheesy. And then later on it's replicated by Jack Quaid because he has to get with the robot so it does his bidding or whatever, and that reincorporation of that bit was hilarious. I loved it so much. Yeah, this movie has so much personality. They do get you with the romantic aspects of this because she is so obnoxiously dedicated to him, and he clearly has a certain amount of feelings for her. They really make him out to be such a pathetic character and her to be such a the final girl. This is such a good for her movie, especially with the ending. I mean, that last shot is one of my favorite last shot in a good for her type movie. I wish they didn't do it through the credits. I wish they just ended the movie like that. The shot of her with the robot hand driving the car, waving at another version of her who's her hair being dyed blonde, by the way, is so perfect. And she's looking at her what? And she's haha, with my robot hand, see, look, you could be doing this. Kind of shattering that illusion of wait a minute, but my job is to serve him forever. Why do you look like me and you're a robot? Am I a robot? So clearly it's birthing a idea in her head where it's shattering that illusion. And the movie is kind of smart in a couple of ways. There's the scene where she gets pulled over by the cop and she changes her language to German because she can't lie. You have to find a way so that you won't give yourself up to the police. So I thought that was really clever. She changes the pitch of her voice so that she could work the voice command of his car. I thought that was really clever. So there's just a lot of fun stuff about this movie. I mean, it is kind of annoying. I know it said it's immune to these, why would you do that? That's such a stupid thing to do. At the end of the movie when she has him at gunpoint, he's like, no, Now I'm gonna shoot you now. Just shoot her. Stop monologuing. Just shoot someone. Like, I feel like in my life, if I was ever in a movie situation like this where there's actual danger and people are dying and I have a gun, I have someone at like gunpoint, at the very least, like, shoot him in the foot. You know what I mean? Like, you're immobile, bitch. Like, you cannot do anything to me. I don't know, but we just like leave him alive and, you know, whatever. I don't know, got me to think about the concept of like these sex bots. This is gonna be a thing that in the future is just gonna happen, whether we like it or not. I now, with my 2025 ethics and morals and sensibilities, I'm like, oh, that's weird, and also I'm in a relationship. I'm sure if I was single, I'd be like, yeah, I would totally have a fuck bot. Why wouldn't I? Especially if it's like a normal commonplace thing. Like, I'm gonna do it. TMI, I've never owned like a pocket pussy. Like, that's like a threshold, you know, like you're physically investing in like solo sex in a way that just feels like an overcommitment to it, you know? But if technology was advanced to this degree and I was that lonely, sure. But yeah, I'm really inspired all these conversations with me and the people that I saw with and other people just about like, are these things ethical? What's ethical about them? What's unethical? What are the implications on society? What kind of world would we be living in with these robots were allowed to be a thing? And if they shouldn't be a thing, why shouldn't they be a thing? That's what good science fiction does. It inspires conversation about these lofty concepts that have to do with our lives today. I really like the metaphor of the relationship in this movie. You can look at it as like, obviously that's a sex robot, literally in science fiction terms, but also a metaphor. She's not a robot. She is just a person who is being manipulated by her boyfriend. There's a lot of people, not just girls, guys too, I'm sure, who are like completely controlled and dominated by their significant other and really have no agency of their own. This whole story of her breaking free from her oppressor, that's going to resonate with a lot of people. And I think that that's really cool. So that's the thing. I think it works on a lot of different levels. The romance, dark romance element works really well. The science fiction element works very well, even though this is a concept that's being played with a lot recently. It's got a lot of personality. It's very funny. It's tense. Like, it's not too scary, but it is really like tense because you do care about these characters. They're really interesting. So yeah, I really like this movie. I'm gonna have 4 stars in our heart. I really liked it. I'm gonna buy it on Blu-ray. Check it out. It is currently my second favorite movie of the year, behind Dogman. Like, comment, subscribe, and thank you guys so much. And tell me what you think the best type of movie like this is. It's Ex Machina, right? This is like a goofier, more fun version of Ex Machina.